Call the regular meeting of the Cumberland School Committee on Thursday, December 10th to order at 7:29 p.m. In accordance with Governor Raimondo's Executive Order 20-103 dated December 8th, 2020, the Cumberland School Committee intends to conduct this meeting remotely. The public can participate in this meeting remotely, but not in person, by calling 646-558-8656 with the webinar ID 958-1113-6360, or can join the Zoom meeting. The link is posted on the Cumberland Schools website, and the passcode is 181771. So the first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and we can stay seated for that. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United
States of America and to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. And in compliance with Governor's Executive Order 20-103 dated December 8th, 2020, discussion and vote on whether there is public access to the meeting through adequate alternative means. And it looks like, Mr. Chandler, we have members of the public that are on the meeting. So that's available. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve by Mr. DeMonica.
Motion by Mr. DeMonica and a
Second.
by Mr. Collins and Mrs. Feather. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it 7-0. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting 11/19/2020, approval of minutes from the special meeting 11/20/2020, approval of minutes from the organizational meeting 12/3/2020, approval of the minutes from two executive sessions 11/19/2020 and 12/3/2020, approval of the enrollment report 12/1/2020, the school police report 11/1/2020, the school bus inspection reports 12/1/2020, the residency truancy report 12/1/2020, and any personnel actions. All of these items are in the shared drive for all school committee members. So I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Mr. DeMonica,
Second.
Second.
second by Mr. Collins and Mrs. Rogalski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it 7-0. The next item on the agenda is report out of the executive session meeting. So we have two meetings that have happened. The meeting on 12/3/2020, a report out of executive session votes. There were no votes, and a vote to seal the minutes of the executive session. Can we do?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair, for December 3rd.
Thank you, Mr. DeMonica. And second by Ms. Smith. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it 7-0. And then the second meeting, report out of the executive session meeting on 12/10/2020, report out of executive session votes, of which there were none, and the vote to seal the minutes of the executive session December 10th, 2020. Need a motion to.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Monica. Motion by Mr. DeMonica,
Second.
second by Mrs. Rogalski and Mrs. Feather. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it 7-0. Okay, next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Over to you, Mr. Mitchell.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the school committee and everyone in the audience this evening. Sorry we're a little bit late, but we had a lot of information that we need to share with one another. The first thing that I'd like to do is we have some very good news. members of the school committee, as you know, every year we ask all of our administrators, all of our principals to nominate someone who they feel is deserving of the District Education Support Professional of the Year. And each of our principals nominate a staff member that they feel is deserving of this recognition. And as you can imagine, you know, we all know that we have some really talented support professionals working with us. And it is my honor and my pleasure to share with all of you the 2020 District Educational Support Professional of the Year, and it is Alyssa Coleman. Is Alyssa here this evening?
Yes.
All right, great. All right. Okay, so we ask, as I mentioned, we ask all of our administrators to share something that they feel is important for all of the administrators to know. And what happens is we actually vote based on the information that is shared with us. And as you can imagine, it's not an easy thing to do. And there is Alyssa. She's on the screen right there with the person who nominated her, Beth Coughlin. And here is what Mrs. Coughlin, the many nice things that Mrs. Coughlin had to say about Alyssa. It is my pleasure to nominate Alyssa Coleman as the 2020 Support Professional of the Year. Although only in her third year with us, the impact that she's had on school operations has been outstanding. She is organized, thoughtful, hardworking, and focused, qualities that make her great at her job. What takes her to the next level is her ability to intelligently and effectively problem solve situations and execute solutions independently that benefits the entire school. From the beginning, Alyssa has approached her position with a business mindset, not necessarily doing things the way that they've always been done. She has improved upon current systems, as well as developing her own system so that the school runs efficiently on a daily basis. She chooses to extend her job responsibilities beyond the typical clerical duties. Over the course of the summer, she assists with scheduling of students. She communicates regularly with families, and she addresses the needs of staff and students at all levels. Her kind yet business-minded approach has earned her a great deal of respect from the entire school community. In fact, it was the staff that overwhelmingly named Alyssa as their choice for this acknowledgement. Alyssa does not shed her responsibilities when out of the office. She regularly communicates outside of work if she feels the need is urgent. As an example, while handling our first positive student COVID case, she monitored her email over the weekend without direction or expectation from me and informed me of a Rhode Island Department of Health voicemail that was left at the school. She contacted me on a Sunday, and we were able to address the situation immediately. This is one of the many examples I could provide of Alyssa taking the initiative to address a situation rather than waiting to be told what to do, a quality that is essential in these trying times. I would appreciate your consideration in choosing Alyssa Coleman as our 2020 District Support Professional of the Year. The fact that she has made such a large impact on our entire school community in the short time she has been with us demonstrates her talent, work ethic, and dedication to the district as a whole. And it is for these many things that Mrs. Coughlin mentioned, and many more, that Alyssa Coleman has been designated the 2020 District Education Support Professional of the Year for the Cumberland School Department. Please join me in congratulating.
Thank you.
And as a token of our appreciation, unfortunately, we could not be together, but I have this snappy little plaque that says, and it's got an apple on it. It says, the Cumberland School Department 2020 District Education Support Professional of the Year, presented to Alyssa Coleman in recognition of your inspirational actions and excellence in educational support. So congratulations to you. And there's also a plaque that hangs outside of the main office area in the trans building, and your name, and I have your name with that will be attached to the plaque. So Alyssa, congratulations to you. Clearly you have earned the admiration and respect from all of the folks there at North Cumberland Middle School. Congratulations again to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So we're not going to embarrass you by asking you if you want to say anything, but certainly, I mean, I think you did say thank you. Was there anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I truly love working there. I love all the staff and I love the students, and it's been a great experience these past 3 years.
Well, I know that they love having you there. So congratulations again, and we'll get you this plaque as soon as possible. So good for you, Alyssa.
Thank
Keep up the great work.
you. Will do.
Okay, Madam Chair, the next item that I would like to share with all of you, what a joy. We got two wonderful things in a row here. And the next thing that I would like to share with all of you is the fact that several members of the Cumberland High School chorus have been accepted into the Rhode Island Music Educator Association All-State Chorus. Now, as you can imagine, trying to do chorus right now is a really difficult thing. Getting everybody together is I can only imagine when you're talking about the importance of a chorus working together to practice and actually sing with one another. The work that they've been able to do is amazing. And as you know, Cumberland has a great tradition with their music program, and the chorus is exceptional. And it hasn't missed a beat with our new director over the last couple years, Amanda Santos. So we wanted to congratulate publicly those 8 students. So congratulations to Alexis Medeiros, Brenna Albahera Cargill, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Carolyn Stevenson, Harry Kenyon, Heather Bliss, Julia Sanford, Kyle Jordan, and Zia Myers. Congratulations to the 8 of you for being named to the RIMIA All-State Chorus. And anyone that's ever had an opportunity to be named to All-State anything, that means that you are one of the most gifted and talented individuals that does this sort of thing in the state. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to Amanda for her direction and for maintaining this outstanding program. Now, we have what we're about to share with you is something very special. The chorus, members of the chorus have prepared a song that they would like to share with all of you. And you know what? Who would argue that right now we're not getting a whole lot of positive anything? And I had a chance to listen to this song a couple times today, and it is so good, it gave me chills. And I hope that you all feel the same way. We need this sort of thing right now. Mike, can you please play that song right now?
Hark, how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is our song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere. Oh, how they round, praising the sound, all in the dale, town in the town. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, ding dong, merry songs, ding dong, ding dong, merry songs. On they send, on without end, ding joyful tone to every home. Hark, how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is our song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, that is the song, ding dong, all carols. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
That was
How good are
amazing.
they? Isn't that unbelievable? I don't know how that can't touch your heart in some way. Is Miss Santo out there by any chance?
Let me take a look. I do not see her.
Well, I know that there's a lot of people in the meeting. Amanda Santo, if you're out there, congratulations to you for the continued outstanding work that you're doing with the chorus. And again, to those 8 students who have been accepted to the All-State Chorus, congratulations. That is something special. And thank you for bringing a little joy to us this evening.
Thank you so much for presenting the video. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Beautifully done. Okay, Madam Chair, if I may, I'd like to move on. The next thing that I wanted to share with everyone, I think it's important, I think especially now more than ever, that we keep everyone informed of where we are with the impact of COVID-19 and the coronavirus on the school department. And I wanted to share with all of you a decision that we have made moving forward over the next couple of weeks, given the significant rise in positive cases in Rhode Island, nationwide, and specifically in the town of Cumberland. Mike, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, and I think this document does exactly that. Mike, can you please pull up that spreadsheet for everyone to see? Okay, so as you can see, everyone, all of our schools are provided in the first column. And at the bottom of this spreadsheet, you can see the totals. And I thought it was important to provide our current totals and also the totals that I provided in my weekly communication on Friday, which was last Friday, a week ago tomorrow on the 4th. And also the last update I did with the school committee at our meeting on November 18th. And when you look at that data by school and the totals across the bottom, and you look at where we are now starting with the number of positive students. And this number, by the way, I mean, this total is effective as of today. I guarantee you that total will continue to grow tomorrow, unfortunately. But we currently have 58 positive students, and you can see that on November 18th, there were 24. So we have doubled the number of students who have tested positive. We have tripled the number of staff that have tested positive. As you can see, the number of students in quarantine has more than doubled. The number of adults in quarantine has more than doubled. And we all know that this has resulted in a number of school closures, and it has resulted in a number of pods at the elementary and middle schools being quarantined. And that number has more than doubled since November 18th. So we are in a difficult position, as you can see. And I think the reason that I thought it was important to include the December 4th data is because even in just a few days, the numbers have increased significantly, just like the number of positive students has increased by 20 since last Friday. And I think that the data speaks for itself. So as a result, we have some difficult decisions to make, and we feel that I don't know that fortunate is the right word to use under the circumstances, but we feel that the right thing to do, given the increasing numbers that you have before you, and the fact that the town of Cumberland has seen an increase in the number of positive cases, the number of positive test results from 9% last week to 11% this week. And we feel that we have an opportunity to, for lack of a better term, take advantage of the upcoming vacation as well. So under the circumstances, we are in agreement. And when I say we, I mean the school administration and the school committee. We agree that we need to do the following, and that is beginning the week of Monday, December 14th. And so this will actually start on the 15th because Monday is a virtual day for us. Beginning the week of December 14th, all students in grades 6 through 12 will move to distance learning until the week of January 11th. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. And beginning the week of December 21st, that is a week from this coming Monday, all students in grades pre-K through 5 will move to distance learning until the week of January 11th. Now, we're in agreement that the reason why we want to hold the elementary students off a week to the week of the 21st is because who would deny that distance learning for our youngest learners is not the most challenging. It is the most challenging. So we feel that we really have to try to keep those students in school as long as we can. Now, it is possible, and I think Garvin Elementary School is a good example. There may be a situation that arises where we may have to do distance learning for the elementary schools the week of the 14th, but we are in a position where we have to take this one day at a time. And one thing that, and the school committee thought it was really important that we stress this important point. So even though it appears that it is a significant amount of time, and don't forget the Christmas break, the holiday break is during this time, that there is really only a total of 5 in-person school days. And I'm not saying that, this is not insignificant, because it is, but it is only a total of 5 in-person school days that students in grades 6 through 12 will miss during that time frame. And for our youngest learners, those elementary school students, pre-K to 5, the total number of in-person days that they will miss with this particular plan is 3 days. And, one of the things that we talk about all the time as administrators and as a school committee, but I can tell you, we meet regularly as an administrative team, and we want everybody back in school. We want all of our students back. We want all of our staff back. That's what we do. And believe me, it's a lot easier for us to, to get back to as normal a routine as possible than going through the kinds of things that we're going through right now. We want to be back. So please understand that we will continue to assess and reassess the situation that we're in. Our goal is to get everybody back as soon as possible, but given the current surge in positive cases, I think that this is, and again, the administration and school committee believe that this is the responsible thing to do. So, Madam Chair, I just wanted to share that with the group. Is there something? Yes, go ahead.
A clarifying question. And the chart that you showed, the data at the top of the chart, that is this week's data or cumulative data?
That is cumulative data.
Okay, so the number of teachers or students in quarantine, but that number is the number as of today of students
Yes.
in quarantine?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Okay, so, all right, so there were 200 more students in quarantine now than there was on Friday.
yes, right. Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure people understood, and that we currently have 31 teachers at the high school that are out in quarantine or for other reasons, 15 teachers at the middle school, and 24 elementary school teachers that are currently out right now, which is posing significant challenges too.
Forgive me for interrupting, Madam Chair. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, that was probably the single most important thing that I should have mentioned. And that is the biggest challenge for us right now. And it's not just Cumberland, it's every single district in the state. And I know that there are probably teachers in the audience who work in other districts that will support what I'm about to say. It's the biggest challenge for us is staffing. It is, we don't have enough adults to be in front of students all day and every day. And we, regardless of, what the governor said today about the substitutes being available to help, we have not seen not one substitute, by the way, from that pool of substitutes that has been developed by the state. We've not one. So as you can imagine, substitutes are very difficult to find at this time as well. I mean, people are nervous and afraid. So, this is not the situation that we want to be in, but we believe, again, that this is the responsible thing to do. And it's, learning will continue, and we're not losing any in-person day lost is not a good thing. But given the fact that we're only losing 3 in-person days for pre-K to 5 and 5 in-person days for 6 to 12, again, we felt that was the responsible thing to do under the circumstances. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And those days are still live instruction days.
Yes.
So, I don't think in any way, shape, or form are throwing in the towel. I mean, I think we are working harder than ever to give our students what they need amongst so many challenges that we face but these are still live instruction days. And that's why we built this model, so that we could be flexible and be able to switch back and forth. But certainly this is not an indicator or an indication of us throwing in the towel. It's us
Oh,
being
no.
able to ensure consistency with our students. Mr. Collins?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank Mr. Mitchell and the entire team. I know this is a daunting task, and I know you've likely spent 75% of your time on keeping schools open that could be better served, focusing on student safety, student achievement, other things. But echoing on Mrs. Friedman's rhetorical comment, I also have observed that you have been more than creative. So regardless of comments coming from the governor's office today about schools need to be more creative, I think you've been more than creative, you and your team. And I appreciate you being very clear and very honest about the state of things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Fiorello?
Yeah, I just want to add my 2 cents, because when the governor says creative, I think what she really means is we have no idea what to do, so figure it out. We also have no funding for you, so figure that out.
Mr. Collins?
I just have one other question. Does this, the other thing that came out of the press conference in my notes is winter sports. I know, is it too early to tell? I don't know if you've spoken to the athletic director today, but will winter sports, in whatever capacity, be impacted by, I know it was scheduled to start some point this month, but will it be impacted by remote learning until January 11th?
You know, Mr. Collins, that's a really good question. I talk to I talk to the athletic director on a regular basis, and to be honest, I did not get a chance to talk to him today, but I will definitely talk to him tomorrow.
Hello? Hi, it's Mr. Costa. Mr. Collins, just to respond to you, if you don't mind. Sorry, Mr. Mitchell.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah, I did speak to Mr. Blanchard recently. They sent out a survey to all athletic directors, and they were posing the question about a delay. So my assumption is there's a possibility that they're also looking at a delay there.
And I do know that they tweeted something while we've been in this meeting, or while we were in the previous meeting. I haven't read it yet, but I think there is an update from the Rhode Island Interscholastic League on Twitter. So. Okay, any other questions or comments for Mr. Mitchell on that agenda item? Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, Madam Chair, may I continue?
Back to you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you. All right, and last but not least, Madam Chair, I have let the school committee know this already, but I just wanted to let the public know that I have notified the school committee of my plan to retire effective June 30th of 2021. And the reason that I wanted to let the school committee know is so that you all could plan accordingly. And, you know, there's still, you know, there's plenty of time before June 30th. There's a lot of work to be done. You know, I will, you have my word that I will continue to give 100% and continue to do my job to the best of my ability. But I just wanted to let everyone know, and you know, there'll be plenty of time for me to let everybody know how honored I've been to do this work. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell, for your leadership and service. You leave big shoes to fill, and thank you for your commitment to helping us get through this and get through this time, probably the most challenging time in your career right now. Mr. Fiorello, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've enjoyed working with Mr. Mitchell over these past 8 years, and that I have very little doubt that he will be going full steam ahead for the rest of the school year. So thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Okay, so if there's not any other comments or questions, we'll move on to our next agenda item. which is the reports of standing committees. The first item is payment of bills. So Mr. DeMonica.
Madam Chair, thank you. The Finance Subcommittee did meet tonight. We reviewed the payment of bills. And on a 3-0 vote, we approved payment of $722,350.18 in bills. And I would make a motion that the school committee pay the bills.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. DeMonica. We need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Collins and Mrs. Feather. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ayes have it 7-0.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. The next item, back to you, Mr. DeMonica, is the Fiscal Management Subcommittee update.
Hey, Mrs. Friedman, thank you. Tonight, we did again meet. We had discussion with the Mr. Prignano, the finance director for the school department, in regards to the monthly report that they have provided the school committee. It was a little lengthy review tonight for the new members to kind of understand how the report goes, but right now we have a small deficit that Mr. Prignan was working to cover, so to speak. So we're off to a good start at the moment, and as the months go along, the report will get more detailed, and hopefully we will end the year in the black and not in the red. But again, it's because of COVID. We're dealing with some issues. Next is Sedesco gave Shauna Spillane, who handles the food service, gave an update in regards to where Sedesco stands right now. As the new members are aware, we did adjust their contract for this year only because of COVID and students coming in, coming out, getting meals, summer programs, et cetera. So she did give a report to the Finance Subcommittee on that. There were some resolutions to deal with tonight that pertain to the $83 million bond work, payments that go from the building committee to the school committee to the town council for approval. And so we dealt with those tonight as well. So we'll get to those items later on under new business. And that was the report.
And thank you, Mr. DeMonica. Next is an update on the Policy and Procedures Subcommittee, Mr. Fiorillo.
Well, technically, we don't have a policy subcommittee. So there's nothing going on currently.
Well, then the next item on the agenda is an update on the Achievement and Communication Subcommittee, which is in a similar situation, to be changed in just a couple of agenda items. So, and the same goes for this last item here, which is the District Health and Wellness Subcommittee update, also to be named very soon. Next on the agenda is our first comments from the public. So if you would like to make a public comment, you can raise your virtual hand or *6, I think, yourself on if you're on the phone. Mr. Chandler will look for you. Our public comments can be up to 3 minutes long. We ask you to state your name and your address. And again, they are public comments. We're not able to respond to them in this format. But Mr. Chandler, are there any public comments?
This time I don't see anybody with their hands raised. Oh, one just popped up. It's Beth. Beth, if you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, if you can state your name and your address, please.
Bethany Ellis, 45 Plant Street. Some people were just asking does it mean for the special needs children as well? Will all the schools close down, or?
That question we can answer that because that was on our agenda. So Mr. Mitchell, would you answer that, please?
That was a part of our conversation, and Dr. Santa is actively involved, and as you know, Students with special needs are students that we are particularly concerned about, but we have decided under the circumstances that all students would be doing distance learning during this time frame that I just shared with everyone.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments at this time?
Mr. Costa?
Mr. Costa, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. I just wanted to take a moment and personally thank Mr. Mitchell publicly today, the day he makes the announcement of his retirement. He demonstrated a level of compassion not often demonstrated by most people. I appreciate him. I appreciate what he did for me, and I surely will never forget that. As he's jagging on the beach next fall, I hope he will reflect on the important leadership he has provided over so many years here in Cumberland. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Adolfo.
Thank you.
I do not see anybody else at this time.
Do we need to capture Mr. Costa's address for the record? Mr. Costa, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, it's 1041 Lincolnshire Drive, North Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with no further public comments at this time, we will move on to the next agenda item, which is old business, which is the school committee assignments the subcommittee assignments by the chairperson. So last week we announced the fiscal subcommittee chaired by Mr. DeMonica, and Kerry Smith and Dennis Collins are also on the fiscal subcommittee. The achievement and communications subcommittee will continue to be chaired by me, and Dennis Collins is on that committee, as well as Amy Rogalski. The policy and procedures subcommittee will continue to be chaired by Mr. Fiorello, and Carrie Feather and Carrie Smith will both be on the policy subcommittee. The district health and wellness subcommittee will be chaired by Amy Rogalski. The school safety committee, we need 2 members on the school safety committee, and that will be Kerry Smith and Paul DeMonica. The last one for me to announce tonight is the town council liaison, which will be Dennis Collins. In January, when we all meet again, we will also talk about some of the other liaison positions and kind of how we want those to work. And so there may be more of those appointments that come in January. But thank you, everyone, for your willingness and commitment to be on these subcommittees. And then next on our agenda is new business. So the first item is discussion and a vote to approve homeschool instruction requests for the 2020 to 2021 school year. I believe there are 2 new requests. So I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Motion by Mr. DeMonica and a second by
Mrs. Rogalski.
Mrs. Rogalski.
Second.
Thank you. I see you over there. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it 7-0. And the next set of items on the agenda is discussion and a vote to approve resolutions. We have 4 resolutions on the agenda tonight. Do you want to take these, Mr. DeMonica, one at a time?
Yes, I will, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
All right, so first one that was heard in the fiscal finance subcommittee was SCPR 12 2020-19. It was high school asbestos remediation project. We approved the resolution for a payment to it's Asbestos Abatement Company of Johnston for an amount not to exceed $13,820. We originally approved this work to proceed just before the Thanksgiving break because we found some asbestos behind some bookcases in the transitional building, and it's part of the $83 million bond project to prepare the new unit ventilators there. So the company was found through Colliers. They went through the state bid list. They were the most responsible and company that do the work. So we need a I'll make a motion that we approve the payment to Asbestos Abatement Company for this work.
I'll second. Thank you. We have a motion by Mr. DeMonica and a second by Mrs. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have 7-0.
Yeah, you can walk.
That was
All right, next. Next is SCPR 12-2020-20. It's a resolution empowering the Cumberland Schools Committee to approve payment to ADS Construction for security work at the high school in an amount not to exceed $118,381.87. This was work done by the $83 million bond committee. They took over it, but the payment is coming from the town master lease. The appropriate paperwork has been signed by the architects showing that the work was completed as planned, and it was in fiscal, and it passed 3-0 vote there. And I would move that we pay the company ADS Construction for the work at the high school.
Okay, we have a motion to approve this payment by Mr. DeMonica and a second by
Second.
Mrs. Rogalski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it 7-0.
Okay, next one is SCPR 12-2020-21. A resolution empowering the Cumberland School Committee to approve payments to Toronto Architects of Providence an amount not to exceed $12,345.97. This is for their services provided for the high school security as well. It's 2 invoices. It's been reviewed by Colliers as well. And so I would move passage of payment of this for $12,345.97 to Toronto Architects.
Okay, we have a motion to approve payment and a second by Mrs. Smith, I think. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it 7-0.
And finally, we have SCPR 12-2020-22, a resolution authorizing and empowering the Cumberland School Committee to execute a payment for legal services to Scheckman, Halperin, and Savage LLP for the town master lease in an amount not to exceed $5,048.92. Normally, the legal fees and stuff get built into the lease payment. And in this case, the town only did the lease and they didn't include the legal fees. And so the school department will have to find payment for this one. The town sent it to us. It's an amount $5,048.92, and I move passage.
Okay, motion to make this payment by Mr. DeMonica and a second by
Second.
Mr. Collins. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it 7-0. Thank you, Mr. DeMonica.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is comments from the public, our second comments from the public. Mr. Chandler, if we see anyone raising their hand.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I do have Mike Kinch would like to speak.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, welcome, Mr. Kinch.
Oh, thank you, and congratulations on your appointment. But I just wanted to take a second to also congratulate Superintendent Mitchell. I'm sure he didn't take that decision lightly, especially with his commitment to our students over those 8 years. But I personally want to thank you for the cooperation you gave me over my 2 years, answer any questions I have. So I want to thank you very much, and on behalf of the town council, I'll wish you the very best. But I'm sure I will see you as we go through the school year. And secondly, I just want to take a quick comment, if you let me indulge, on Alyssa Coleman. What a great choice that they made. If anybody knows her family, they've got long roots in this town. And if you ever start a hockey team, she's a little heck of a hockey player too. I remember her from her youth days. And I also, on behalf of the town council, want to congratulate our students who made the All-State chorus. So thank you very much for indulging me on that. And I will see you at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Kinch, and congratulations to you too on your chairmanship. And for the record, if you wouldn't mind giving your address, just so we have that in our.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It is 25 Murphy Drive, Cumberland.
Okay, thank you very much.
Rachel Santa.
Santa? She's.
Hello, this is Rachel. Hi. I just 39 Birchwood Drive, Narragansett, Rhode Island, and I just wanted to put a little plug in to the community about making donations to the Cumberland Food Pantry. They're really in desperate need at this time of year. The central office has been donating and will be making a financial donation, but just a little bit of a push to see if other members of the community could help support the food pantry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrea Friedland.
Hi, this is Andrea Friedland. I'm at 47 Greenfield in Cumberland. I just have a question. I was listening, I promise, but when you discussed how we were going to be distance learning, are teachers allowed to be teaching from the building, or will we get more information about that?
Mr. Mitchell?
I hope Mr. Adams doesn't get upset with me, but we have decided that if teachers are more comfortable coming into school, that yes, by all means, that would certainly, we would support that.
Okay, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Do not see anybody else at this time.
Okay, all right, thank you. And last on the agenda are any school committee comments or school liaison reports. Mr. Collins.
All right, I'm going to make this brief because the Patriots are about to kick off. So first, as always, I want to thank the teachers at Cumberland for just being incredible since day one. And I want to wish everybody, tonight's I'm not Jewish, but tonight I am told is the first night of Hanukkah. So I wish my Jewish brothers and sisters happy Hanukkah, and everybody else a Merry Christmas, because this is our last meeting of, well, hopefully the last meeting of the year, unless something happens. And finally, I want to extend well wishes to Town Councilor Bob Shaw, who is recovering from a COVID-19 infection. So I hope he's well on the road to recovery, and he's a strong advocate for schools. So I want to wish him well too. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other school committee comments? Mr. DeMonica?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say congratulations to Mr. Mitchell on his pending retirement. I know when he took the position, he stated to the school committee then that he plans to retire from Cumberland. And he was a man of his word. I mean, we know that the state of Rhode Island was trying to poach him to go to Woonsocket to take over there. And he stayed with us. And between him and his team, with Mr. DeMonter and everybody goes to the teacher aide all the way up to the superintendent's office. We've done great work. We've gone from, being in the middle of the pack to the top of the pack when it comes to school testing. And it's a testament to the job and to the people that Mr. Mitchell had put in place for, working with the school committee. So I've known for a little bit, maybe 6 weeks, that he was going to retire and asked me to keep it quiet, and he'll be missed. But I'm sure that whoever we hire to do his job will continue with the leadership. And good luck, Mr. Mitchell, and maybe we'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you.
Any other school committee comments? Okay, the last thing that I'd like to say is, despite the somewhat unusual meeting that we had last week, and as it was kind of portrayed, I just want to publicly acknowledge that we are a cohesive committee. We're all here to support each other. Mark and I are here to support each other and to work together, and I'm thankful for Mark's vice chairmanship. And we've got a lot of work to do. I'm excited to move forward, and not the least of which is hiring our next superintendent. So, no pressure, but we got some big things ahead of us. But I am really proud of this committee and everybody's commitment and engagement, and I know that we're going to do great things. So I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that. Okay, so the last item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Feather and a second by Mr. Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the meeting is adjourned. Ayes have it.
Good night.
7-0. Meeting's adjourned at 8:25 p.m. Kickoff time. Thank
Go
you.
Pats.
Good night, everybody. Good
Night.
night. Good night, everybody. Thank you.